Hello there and welcome to Local for Leeds. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United, and today, Leeds fans, I'm going to preview our trip to Crawley in the FA Cup third round. Crawley Town are our opponents in the third round draw, which takes place on Sunday afternoon, this tie. So yeah, it's a real David against Goliath tie, this one, isn't it? Your classic potential of a giant kill in this one, League Two against now obviously Premier League Leeds United. I think we're a sort of scalp for any lower league side, and now that we're in the Premier League, it's even more of an incentive for them to do a bit of a giant killing on us. We have been, of course, subject to some giant killings in the past. The likes of Histon and Sutton United come to mind, don't they? But I will touch on those games briefly in this preview, but obviously we'll focus it, primarily on Crawley Town, the opponents, on Sundays. So, it's a bit of a break. Obviously, a break from the Premier League fixtures. We're coming into it, obviously, off the back of that 3-0 defeat in London against Tottenham. Crawley, on the other hand, are coming into this one off the back of a 1-0 win against Bolton in League Two. They currently sit in 6th position in League Two, so just inside the playoff positions, in League Two, like I say. So they're doing okay. They're having a decent season, to be fair. They've got a top scorer who has, been attracting attention from clubs higher up the football pyramid. In Waters, isn't it his name? Waters. 13 goals so far this season, not to be sniffed at. Like I say, they're having a good season at Crawley, and we've got to be wary of them, really. I mean, they're going to bang up for it, aren't they? It's the biggest game of their season. Like I said, Leeds United coming to town, it's a big game. Even when we were in the Championship, it's a even bigger game now, isn't it? We're a Premier League side. They're going to be wanting to, giant killers, aren't they? Going to kill us off in the FA Cup. It's a big one for them. For us, I think it's just a case of, I don't know, we're not going to win the cup, are we? So what's the kind of point in having a cup run for me? I don't see the point in having a cup run, and I don't think Bielsa really bothers with the cups, does he? I mean, look at the lineup he came up with against Hull in the Carabao Cup at the start of the season. Obviously, we lost on penalties. We were absolutely terrible that game. There was a few first-team players involved, wasn't there? And those players just didn't look very interested at all, did they? And I just don't think he prioritises it. And he's rightly to do so. We all know the objective for the end of the season is staying in the Premier League. That has to be the aim. That has to be the one single objective. Having said that, we don't want to have the humiliation of losing to a League Two side. I know it's, they're going to bang up for it, and it's going to be a tricky game. I'm under no illusion of that. I do think it'll be a tricky match, this one. But we've got to be professional, and we don't want to lose this one. I know we're not going to have an FA Cup. We're not going to get into latter stages. I wouldn't want us to, because our squad is very thin as it is. Our squad seems quite susceptible to injuries, so I don't want us to go on to the latter stages of this competition. But I do, we do want to be beating this team on Sunday, because we will be a laughing stock if we don't, and that's just the way it is. That's no disrespect to Crawley. That's just the way it is. They're League Two, we're Premier League. Naturally, it will be embarrassing if we lose this one, but I don't think we will. I think we'll have enough to beat this side. I will just have a quick look at my predicted lineup in a second, but what I would like to do first, like I say, this is the first ever meeting between the two sides, so I'd just like to look at some comparisons, some sort of links that are in there between Crawley and Leeds. There aren't many, so I don't think it'll take too long, but there are a few. One is that man Steve Evans, a man that Leeds fans will remember for all the wrong reasons, I'm sure. He was not very good with us, it has to be said. It was under the Salino era where the club, let's be honest, were just a laughing stock. Leeds United were. It was not a very good time to be a Leeds United fan, but as we do, we slog it out and we support the team. Steve Evans was a terrible manager. I know he saved us, didn't he? He came when we were right in the sort of just above the relegation zone. He saved us. We came 13th in the end, and to be fair, you can say he kept us up because he did, and he had an awful squad to work with. Really, he brought in a couple of the youth players, to have their debuts, the likes of Lewis Cook, Ronaldo Vieira, made the debuts under Evans, and but he just wasn't great. And he's a man who probably still thinks that Mick McCarthy would do a better job than Bielsa. Being in at Leeds, it was a joke of a comment, that wasn't it? And still does the rounds. As I'm sure the game gets closer, I'm sure it will rear its head again. Those comments he made. But for Crawley, it was another story for Evans. He was very successful in his spell there. I think he had. Did he have 5 years there? I think he had. And he was quite successful there. Got them promoted, didn't he? Or maybe he got them promoted twice, actually, did he? Maybe he definitely got them promoted once. He did a good job there, and I think he's quite well respected at Crawley, but he's currently manager at Gillingham, isn't he? So, it was just a bad time. He wasn't at Leeds for long, was he? I think he saw out the 15-16 season, came in after Uwe Rosler got sacked early in that 15-16 season. I think it was October time. So he saw that season through, and then he got sacked at the end of it. So didn't stay long. Another man who is infamous and hated in Leeds United, which who has Crawley links as well, is that man Harry Kewell. Obviously Kewell was a great player when he played for Leeds, but he tarnished that forever, of course, when he went to Galatasaray, didn't he? So he's not well liked amongst the fan base. He had a short spell, I think again it was only for a few months at Crawley. I think it was the 18-19 season, I think it was. Obviously he's currently at Oldham, isn't he? Harry Kewell, but not very well liked by Leeds United fans. I don't think Crawley Town fans will have, very positive things really to say about him either. Really, to be honest, wasn't there long enough to really make any sort of mark. And he's trying his hand at managing now. But he's another link. That links these two teams. Another one, and the final one that I will talk about in this preview, it is Dominic Paulion. Now, Dominic Paulion, I spoke to Dom a few months ago, or a month or so ago. Nice lad. If you haven't seen that, go and check the interview out. I'll put the links down there in the description so you can go check it out. Obviously, he was at Leeds for a few years, and he did okay, I suppose. Didn't really have that much of a chance in the team. He found himself at Crawley some years later. I think actually maybe it was while Harry Kewell was the manager at Crawley as well. He played for a season, scored 5 goals, and his contract was cancelled by mutual consent at the end of that. And he currently, unfortunately, doesn't have a club. But he's a nice chap. I had a good chat with him, and like I say, go check that out. But he is also another link between these two sides. As for our FA Cup record, it stinks, doesn't it, to be honest with you. We haven't reached past the round of, the 5th round in quite some time. I think we've gone out in the 3rd round in the last few seasons. Obviously last season we went out to Arsenal at the Emirates. No disgrace in that, was there? We went out to QPR the season before that, in Bielsa's first season, and then the season before that, I actually don't remember the season before that, I must be honest, but the season prior to that one was the Sutton United defeat. We'd beaten Cambridge in the third round. We went to Sutton in the fourth round, and obviously we got beaten embarrassingly by that 1-0 scoreline, the penalty. You know, some of those players on that pitch were terrible and never pulled on a Leeds United shirt ever again. You know, shocking. It was a shocking time, that, wasn't it? It was just terrible. Embarrassing to lose like that to that sort of opposition, and you know they deserved it on the day, didn't they? They played well. But like I say, at any level that Leeds United are at, it's a game that the opposition in the FA Cup are going to be up for, and we've got to be bang on it on on Sunday, and we've just got to take it to them and just be like, well, yeah, let's just get the job done, be professional about it. Like I say, I don't expect us to have much of a cup run, but I do expect us to have too much for Crawley Town on Sunday, and I do expect the lads that are involved to do, to be professional about it and get the job done. But they will, like I say, they will want to have that scalp of Leeds United. And again, it's the FA Cup. A lot of people say it's lost the magic over the years. I don't really know, really. You still get the giant killings, don't you? But you perhaps don't get the kind of magic of what it maybe was before. But yeah, we have got a bad record. We don't generally reach past the fifth or the fourth round, really. And we've had some terribly embarrassing defeats in the past. Added to that, of course, was Histon, wasn't it? Where the postman delivered. The postman delivered, did he, Leeds fans, in that one? And the part-timers, they beat us 1-0. We were obviously League One at the time, weren't we? But again, still, Leeds United, obviously we're playing a non-league side, their part-time team, which is absolutely embarrassing. But I still remember that goal. It was a mucky, awful day, wasn't it, that in Histon? And we just couldn't hack it. I think it was actually a first team that was put out that day as well, but we just couldn't hack it. And Histon were bang up for it, and they beat us. And this is what you can get in the FA Cup. And like I say, now we're Premier League. Teams that want to go and come at us, and that's the way it is. And Crawley be no different. They'll want to hurt us. They'll want to, they will. They'll want to get that scalp, like I say, of Leeds United. But let's look on to the lineup then. The lineup's a bit of an interesting topic, I think, because Bielsa, we know he likes to change it around in the cup competitions. We saw it against Hull earlier on in the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season. Plenty of under-23 players playing in that one. Will he have learned his lesson? Because we looked awful in that game. Those lads, some of them looked out of the depth, unfortunately. Will Bielsa have learned his lesson and put on a bit more of a senior side? I think he will, although I remember predicting that he might put out quite a mixture of first team and youth players in that whole game. I think it was basically youth, wasn't it, in that match, and it didn't really pay off, but you got the feeling he just wanted to get out of that competition. The FA Cup, again, Premier League survival is the main objective, but I think he will have learnt from that one, and I expect a lot of youth players to be involved, particularly in the matchday squad, on the bench and stuff. But I do think he'll go for a slightly more senior lineup, and this is a lineup what I think he will go for. I think unfortunately he'll go for Kiko in goal. As I keep saying, if you watch my channel, you all know my thoughts on Kiko Casilla. I won't repeat it. But I think he'll be in goal. I think it'll be Davis at left back. I think it'll be Strauch and Casey in the centre back positions. I think it'll be Shackleton on the right. I think Phillips will play. Just probably, if he didn't get that yellow card against Spurs, I don't think he would have done. But I think because he'll miss the Brighton game, I think Bielsa will probably want to keep his fitness levels up. So I expect Phillips to start in the CDM role, of course. On the left, I think he'll go with Costa. I think he'll swap Costa to the left-hand side. I do think as well that he will have Poveda on the right side. But I think Costa, it's a chance for him to get some minutes. And I do think he'll want to play Poveda as well for the exact same reason. But I don't think Costa, with Rafinha coming in now, will get that much game time in the Premier League. So it's a case of just keeping his fitness up. Because he will always be involved off the bench in a Premier League game, but that's what I mean. He'll just want to keep his fitness levels up, and obviously Costa should have enough to hurt that Crawley defence and get play a part in a win hopefully. So in the middle, so like I say on the right side, I think it'll be Poveda. In the middle, I think he'll go with Jenkins and Hernandez. Jenkins we've seen on the bench a couple of times in the Premier League. So he's obviously knocking on the door for a first team start. I think he'll get this in this game. Those who have watched the under-23 sides will know that Jenkins, he's been impressive in those games, in those under-23 games. So for me, he will be given an opportunity to start this game alongside Hernandez. Again, I think Hernandez will be involved. He looked good against Spurs when he came on, but again, it's similar to Costa, isn't it? Just keeping his fitness levels up, giving him a game, giving him some game time, and I think that's the way that Bielsa will see this match. Just give his fringe players that he needs to keep fitness up in the first team, give them opportunities, and then give the rest of the team, very youthful feel, which I think he will go with. And then up top's a funny one. It's an interesting debate which has rumbled on for some months. Who will get the opportunity in the FA Cup. This game is now coming round. I think it'll be Greenwood that he'll start with. Greenwood has been subject to interest from Championship side Cardiff in this window, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But I do think that he's obviously been impressing in the under-23s, and he is probably warrants to start really in an FA Cup match just to test himself in this situation against a higher level team that he's playing against in the under-23 level. So I think he'll start with Greenwood. It's a toss-up, isn't it, though, between Gelhardt and Greenwood, but Gelhardt, you never know. Gelhardt I expect to probably be on the bench. I expect he'll probably give Bamford a weekend off, which is fair enough, really. But I think, Gelhardt will probably be on the bench. But if not, it will be him starting and Greenwood on the bench. I can't see either of them two not being involved on Sunday, to be honest with you. And it'd be good to see what they can do because, I think there's been a heavy I think there's just been heavy interest in the under-23 side this season and probably last season as well. But certainly in more recent seasons than I can remember, there's been more interest in the under-23 side than ever before, really, because they've pumped money into it, haven't they? And they're doing so well, aren't they, as well? So it's good to see that there's a pathway for these young players coming up to the Premier, into a Premier League team. Let's wait and see. There probably will be, chances for the likes of them two in particular going further on into the season if they impress in this game and continue to press it in the youth side. There's a few knocking on the door, isn't there? But I don't think we'll probably quite be involved. Like, the likes of Bobby Camwar. I think Huggins will be involved probably on the bench, as we saw him as well against Spurs. So you can kind of see Bielsa's thinking with the lads, young lads on the bench for the Premier League games, who he's probably going to involve in this one. So we'll wait to see. But I'm looking forward to seeing what these lads can do. Pressure is off them, although some people might say the pressure is on Leeds. For me, it's a cup match, isn't it? We're never going to win the FA Cup. Just go out there. We should be able to beat this League Two Crawley side, but we've got to respect them and show them that we are professional and we will win this one. So let's go with the score prediction then. And my score prediction is Crawley. I'm going to say Crawley 1, Leeds United 3. I do think Crawley will score. I think they've got some dangerous players, to be honest with you. Like I say, that Waters, you know, he's got 13 goals, and there's one or two that we need to keep quiet. Whether Mark Wright's going to make an appearance, I don't know what's going on with him. I saw he signed a deal. I don't know. I don't think he's played yet for him, but who knows what will happen with him. But yeah, I think we're going to win this one. I'm going to go with 3-1. Let me know what your score predictions are, what your predicted lineup's going to be for this one. It'll be interesting to see everybody's thoughts on it. And of course, as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be very much appreciated. Trying to grow the channel, and my target for now is hitting 100 subscribers. So please help me out with that and hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it would be much appreciated. So thanks very much for watching this one. Let's hope we win on Sunday. Marching on together, and I'll see you on the next one.